Chair Hyland, we're ready when you are.
Okay. I call the Parks and Community Events Commission for the City of Cathedral City to order at 5:01. Okay. Here we go. Roll call. May we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Herrera,
Present.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Present.
Commissioner Martinez,
Present.
Vice Chair Bayshu,
Present.
Chair Hyland.
Present. Okay, now we need agenda finalization. Are there any changes to the agenda?
We have none, Chair.
Thank you. Public comments? This is the opportunity for members of the public to comment on any items not appearing on the regular agenda. Because of restrictions contained in California law, the Parks and Community Events Commission may not discuss or act on any item not on the agenda, but may briefly respond to statements made or ask a question for clarification. The chair may also request a brief response from staff to questions raised during public comment or may request a matter be agendized for a future meeting. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Are there any requests to speak at this time?
Yes, Chair, we did receive one request to speak form. Jeff Cole, if you'd please approach the podium.
Welcome.
Please state your name and his name for the record.
Jeffrey Cole.
Thank you.
I'm just here this evening to say thank you to the Parks Commission. Recently, you guys helped sponsor and you guys helped bring in funding to help do the 22K Invisible Wounds. It was a success for the first one. I believe we said we had 50 people show up that registered to actually walk to help raise the awareness for PTSD and suicide prevention, and over 100 attendees that did show up throughout the day. So I appreciate the support, and we look forward to hopefully connecting again next year and having even a bigger event. So on behalf of myself, I know Angel, the VFW, and everybody that was involved with this, thank you very much. And like I said, I hope to have you guys on board again next year.
Thank you. Thank you for a great event, and thank you for partnering with us as the City of DHS VFW.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Chair, we do not have any other requests to speak.
Okay. All righty. Now we are moving on to the Communications and Event Manager update. We will now receive an exciting update from Ryan Hunt, our Communications and Events Manager.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Chair and Vice Chair and Commissioners. It's good to be with you today. I'm going to go through the spring events recap, not quite as extensive as the fall, but still a lot of things that I wanted to highlight. And I wanted to mention this is really stuff that comes into my world from communications and events. The city does support a number of community events, including the Veterans 22K, which my wife and I were proud to participate in through a donation of a flag. And so really want to just commend PACE and really everybody in the community that has lifted up Cathedral City. We're doing so much now, not just city-sponsored events, but events that are happening through organizations like the Rotaries and all the great organizations that have a place here in Cathedral City. So it helps make my job a lot easier when you guys are amplifying the city in the way that you all do. So I appreciate your time and your commitment. So I'll go through the spring events recap quickly. And so, wanted to start with yoga in the amphitheater, which technically started in the winter and kind of moved into the spring, January 23rd through March 26th. Vice Chair Antonio Bayshu is the program coordinator, did a great job, and he's assisted each week from former PACE Commissioner Gary Marshall. So wanted to commend them, and some great photos, and I snuck in one that Antonio had me dressed as a luchador, a lucha wrestler ahead of Taste of Jalisco. And the reason I put that in there was obviously not because of the way I look in the outfit. It's more about the synergy that this event created to promote other events throughout the spring season, and I really appreciate the assistance we had to promote Taste and Sounds of Cathedral City as well, and having a full Tuesday where we had yoga in the amphitheater in the morning, ended with Taste and Sounds of Cathedral City. It was really cool to have weekly activities in the amphitheater, which is obviously our goal. It is set vacant for long enough, and so we're really hitting the ground running to make sure that we have more free programming for our residents to be able to enjoy, and that's something, a charge and a mission that I take very seriously in my role here. So gentle yoga 8:30 to 9:30, and power yoga from 10 to 11. Nicole and Patty are terrific instructors, and we had record attendance in 2024, and we look forward to hopefully that's correct.
Next month we'll be doing the agenda item for that.
Okay, perfect. And so we'll hopefully have that back in 2025 as well. So, and you can see Antonio always had his, kind of check in with the attendance there. As you can see, we had one of our really good days out there in the amphitheater. So really great to have the yoga program, and thank you to everybody involved in PACE for supporting that event. Taste of Jalisco obviously celebrates our sister city partnership and relationship with Tequila Jalisco, Mexico. We had strong attendance in 2024, didn't quite beat 2023. We had the most beautiful weather weekend I could imagine last year, and then this year we got dealt with some storms and wind, and we still made it out with 10,000 plus attendees, which I think is a really good showing. And this has become kind of our spring signature event, whereas Balloon Festival carries us through the fall with the most attendance. This is becoming in that 10 to 15, and we hope to graduate to maybe 20, 25,000. The carnival was just massive this year. It was the biggest carnival we've had. And Taste of Jalisco is strategically positioned to where we're not really competing with a lot of other events in the Valley. It's kind of become our weekend ahead of Date Festival, which also has a carnival component. And then obviously we don't want to get into Coachella and battling some of those events too. So really happy with where that's positioned. And it's slated to return January 31st. First time we've been in January, but that's the first weekend in February. So it'll be back for a 3-day event. And we hope to have a 1-year renewal with Sound Skills up for council approval at the meeting on the 22nd. So they'll be continuing on in that capacity. So we had Lucha Libre wrestling a Saturday evening, followed by a really great Selena tribute band. We had a Carlos Santana tribute band. We had tequila tasting. We had Festival Lawn packed with activities and carnival rides and amusements. Great food trucks, as you can see some of the food there. So here's some of the photos of the vibrant event, and it's turned into one of my personal favorites throughout the year. The Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic, which was supported by you all as a PACE commission as well. There's a picture of, I think that's Antonio at our information booth that we manned. Really did a great job, I think, of promoting local restaurants. We got all the menus together and promoted everything Cathedral City. And I know we had a number of restaurants reach out to me personally that really appreciated that they got some business out of that event too. So I think for a while that information booth has just kind of been there, and we haven't activated it in the way that it could be useful from an economic development standpoint and from a just overall Cathedral City branding standpoint. So, the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic at 33,000 plus attendees is one of the largest attended college sporting events, particularly in women collegiate sports. But I think really it's kind of become all across collegiate sports as the sport of softball has become even more popular. And if you haven't been there yourself, it's really a great, spectacle to see so many people travel from all over the country, East Coast, middle of the country, and then obviously some of our West Coast schools. So that took place in February. It'll be back in 2025 over at Big League Dreams, which is a great facility. And so, like I said, 33,000 and increasing. Mayor and council participated in the opening pitch ceremony. Mayor Carnevale actually didn't even wait for the end of the announcement. He just got that pitch out there, and it was a fastball down the middle, and he wasn't going to let anybody take it away from him. So we were happy to have him out there, and it was a lot of fun. The city also, through our partnership with Deanna and her environmental fund, provides teams and guests with branded swag bags, which is a great touch for Cathedral City. As you can see, they had a really prominent billboard promotion that was in Cathedral City, and PACE, as I mentioned, helped man our information booth. So we appreciate everybody on the commission who was able to make it out and support that. Cathedral City LGBT Days, which is California's first Pride of the Year each year. That took place March 8th through the 10th of 2024. That will be going back to a city-run event for 2025. So the city will be taking a year to kind of reassess and kind of get that back in the way that we think it can be prominently featured. We really like the foundation that's been built, but we think it could be improved even more. The bed races did have record attendance, though. You can see the sea of crowd at town Town Square Park. It's just one of the coolest things, and that has a built-in audience that has really carried on for really the last decade. So I think that one's one that people look forward to. But the Friday and Saturday components, working on some new ideas to be able to enhance that and make it more of a full weekend and celebrate our local businesses and connect them as well as part of it as well. So estimated about 5,000 attendees, which is on pace with the last couple of years. As I mentioned, the bed races had record attendance. It was really cool the first time that Agua Caliente Casinos had sponsored and been a presenting sponsor of this event. We hope to continue that dialogue as applications for their sponsorships are due on June 1st. And we had a drone light show celebrating the LGBTQ plus community here in the Coachella Valley in Cathedral City. And we have a new location, a launch location for the drone shows, and it's kind of west of the senior center. So it has much more access and visibility to people that are on the festival lawn. People inside the amphitheater can see it well. If you're at the Roost or any of the other downtown businesses, and the restaurants, Trilusa, you can see it from the street. So we wanted more, and we actually had a ton of cars pull off 111 and just kind of sit there and watch the show, which is really, really cool. So we hope to bring that back. But that's a new ad that we've had for the last couple of years that's been popular. Taste and Sounds. So this is really a labor of love. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. 8-week series. It was our inaugural series in the amphitheater. Free admission. It allowed us to do our first BYOB pilot program, and I can't tell you how well behaved, how great people were at cleaning up after themselves. We did have private security at each event, but really it gave us hope and optimism that we can do more of those things and still keep a safe environment. And obviously our PD was involved in those discussions as well. So learned a lot this year, things that went really well and things that we can improve upon. But really was great to be able to feature local artists, Giselle Wu, who is Cathedral City native, and the Dreamboats, who performed all across. That was our record attendance. That was probably about 700 people. So we really, I think, have something going here, and we're excited to be able to lift this. And we don't have anything set for the fall, but it is renewed for the spring. But there is some dialogue about seeing if we can make it happen, twice a year, which would be great. So Cathedral City High School, Royal Jazz Band, the choir, Radio Ready, Ethelina Can, Vanity Halston, Jasmine Masters, Norma Lehigh, that was part of our LGBT Days kickoff, the Avenida Music Group, which is also a local group, Leanna and the Free Agents, which was a great night, and then I mentioned the Dreamboats and Giselle Wu and the Night Owls. So I want to give kudos to Kevin Lockwood on my team, graphic designer and webmaster. He did a great job developing a look and a logo, and so maybe we could use that for swag in future years and t-shirts as we get a little bit more momentum. But it was really cool to see the amphitheater full. That one on the bottom in the middle is our cover photo currently on Facebook. It was just really cool to see so many people having a great time and the smiles and so many people dancing on the concrete area of the amphitheater. That's really what it's all about, is and why we do what we do, which is to put smiles on people's faces and to give back to the taxpayers who spend a lot of money to be able to support these venues. So it's our way to give back to them. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions that you have.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's great that we're doing the amphitheater the way we're doing it on Tuesdays. I think that was just a huge hit on both yoga and the concerts at night. Really amazing job.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Appreciate it.
I've also noticed it busier at some of the restaurants that were there. So when I go into like Meester Zebras, the more people know about it. They have
Yeah.
delicious food from Taste and Sounds, and then it's trickling over to help their business, which is wonderful to see.
Yeah, and I should have mentioned some of the local businesses that participated. Meester Zebra did it a few times. Smoky Lips Barbecue, which is another business that went through the process to be able to be a certified vendor. I think this was a great way to showcase our code compliance group did a really great job of being able to make sure, what are obviously called illegal street vendors, that if you go through the proper certification process, get certified with the health department, make sure that you're in line with all of our permitting and everything, that we can help amplify. So we had so many success stories. Taqueria Copacabana was another one that went through that program. So just really excited to continue to showcase a lot of restaurants and food trucks. We struggled a little bit with local restaurants and the resources that they have available to be able to do these events a little bit harder on a Tuesday night. They kind of have to decide between closing their business or sending staff out there, and then if you have a bad night, is it worth the gamble? So we're going to continue to approach that as we can, but food trucks, for the obvious reason, are a little bit more suited for this type of event, but we'll continue brainstorming ways to involve more of our local community.
All right, any other questions, commissioners?
It's a great job.
Thank you all. I appreciate your time and everything you do for our community. Thank you.
Ditto. Okay, now we move on to agenda item number 3, the approval of minutes. Are there any members of the public that wish to comment on the minutes from April 2nd, 2024?
Chair, we do not have any members of the public present, and I did not receive anything through email.
Thank you. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes, commissioners?
No. No.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve? Okay, so
Just to confirm, I heard a motion by Vice Chair Baishu, and are we having a second by Commissioner Martinez? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and
we're in
start the
the-
vote.
we're in this part here.
Vice Chair Baishu, if you please select mover. Commissioner Martinez, thank you. Please vote.
I do not have a vote on my screen.
Okay,
There we go.
okay.
Xed out.
Okay, and we'll see the vote here. We have a motion by Vice Chair Baishu, a second by Commissioner Martinez. Motion carries all ayes.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 4 on the agenda, the Parks and Community Events PACE Dream Homes Park Naming Subcommittee update for May of 2024. May we have the staff report, please?
Chair, and just to let you know, the staff report you got one of the first glitches in the staff report. That was not the staff report. Did we hand out the?
Yes.
We did, and I did
Okay.
explain to them.
We're the first
So-
glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, there you go. So I was kind of aghast when I saw what went out, but we got it figured out. I'm going to give you a presentation that really mimics what's in your staff report. So if you hadn't had time to look at it on the particulars, you'll see them on here. So on this presentation, the commission appointed a subcommittee, Commissioner Mario Jimenez and Commissioner Herrera composed the subcommittee. Then there were 3 polls taken. One was door to door by the subcommittee. Postcards were sent out to Dream Homes residents, and the Agua Caliente Elementary School took on the task of doing a project with 400 of their students. With that, the door-to-door poll, really led by Commissioner Jimenez, he was able to knock on 58 residents' doors, and all 58 came out with the name Esperanza Park. Postcards got sent out to all the residents. There was drop boxes here and at the library, I believe, Deanna, wasn't it? Yes, library. And, or they can send them in email to the city or mail them into the city. So we got 29 postcards, 14 were for the name Agua Caliente Park, 2 for the name Dream Homes Park, 2 for the name Esperanza Park, and then 1 vote each of what you see on the right. Next was Dream Homes Elementary School project, and if you see in your packet, there was a project for the kids to do. What they were going to tell what they would be doing at the park, and then what their name for that park would be. And we got 400 of those project papers back from the school, and they were all really cute, and they were ages from basically 1st grade to 4th grade and 5th grade. 42 were Cathedral City Park, 23 Agua Caliente Park, 20 for Dream Homes Park, 10 for Dreamer Park. And then there's a variety of them, and I kind of gleaned through them and took some of the fun names that they took out. I like the one that was the funnest, Cathedral City Park.
I like the turtles.
I like number 20. I'm 20.
And the
That's the
kids,
one.
that was pretty good too, and I put that on there. And
Yes.
that kind of ended, I go, okay, there was a lot of others. But the beauty of it was you can just feel the excitement. Deanna and Luis out in the, working her analyst, you could feel the excitement in just what the kids were anticipating in this park, just in their project. So it was really a good feeling. But notwithstanding your big task today, because I'm going to take it to city council pretty soon, meaning the next available meeting, is what are your recommendations for a park name? And I can keep going back and forth on the slide. Names. It'll really be ultimately the city council's decision, but what is this commission's, recommendation from a name from basically all three of the polls? So I'm going to let you discuss it.
I have a
and if you want me to
question.
flip back and forth, I can do that.
I have a question. I've lived in Cathedral City since that was Palm Springs, and then, we annexed it and such. Is it on Agua Caliente tribal land?
No, it's city land, city property.
Okay, so that, I was just curious about that, if there's confusion for people, that if it
That
was
area-
related to the tribe
Agua
versus,
Caliente Elementary School has historically been there. When
Yes.
they remodeled it, they kept the name. It has.
It's beautiful.
It has a feeling there. Obviously, the one thing, and I'll offer a side comment. The dream homes to the kids, they have no prejudices in the new generation.
No.
And that's why I kind of like Dreamer Park and stuff like that, because they're not carrying that weight of what's happened in the past there. So, but that's just what I've kind of observed from the comments from the kids.
yes.
The more adults, I can tell that the comments were basically based on actual things that are out there. Dream Homes Park, Esperanza Park, Agua Caliente Park. So
I
you
can,
tell me what slides you want to put up, but this is your discussion. Staff is out of it at this
I
point.
think for me, I'm a big fan of what seems to be the top three, which was Agua Caliente Park, Esperanza Park, and Cathedral City Park. I think all of those names are really good names.
I can confirm, I volunteer at Agua Caliente Elementary, and the excitement is very palpable. The kids don't care what you call it, they're just excited that there's a park. I think we need to look at it as a branding standpoint, right? Like, we are commissioners for the city. What do we want to think about going forward? What do we think is going to represent the neighborhood? I think there's a lot on the table here. This is a pretty awesome opportunity to be able to make a recommendation.
And on that point, Aaron, I just don't really like the name Agua Caliente Park, just because it's too associated with the tribe. And this is an independent park. It's representing the neighborhood. And as I said, when it's Agua Caliente is represented with the tribe, for the Latino community, especially the Mexicans, Agua Caliente represents a casino in Mexico. So those who frequent Mexico, Agua Caliente has that connotation. So as being at Dream Homes, or being in that neighborhood, I think it should be something more original.
I also look forward when I think of grant opportunities and partnering with the tribe in the future. Like, I would love to have maybe the future downtown park be Agua Caliente Park, where the future dog park and pickleball courts could be. So I think we might want to save those naming rights for the tribe for a park of their own when I look at that.
I just personally like Esperanza Park. Because I'm a Latino, I like that it's hope. It just resonates with me the most. But if we're not going to do Agua Caliente Park, I do like the one that's called just Dreamer Park. Dreamer? It got 10 votes on number 3. But preferably Esperanza Park.
I like the fact that Commissioner Jimenez actually had conversations and face-to-face, and it wasn't just something that people mailed in, that you spoke with people, and that you felt like there was a sense of hope, and that's where Esperanza Park originated from, was their sense of hope in the community, that we're finally investing in this area that hasn't had amenities in the past. And so I like the hopefulness of Esperanza. What do our subcommittee?
Yeah, go for Esperanza Park, and The only reason that I don't want to go to Agua Caliente Park, that's because Agua Caliente School has the opportunity to have a community park in their school district. They didn't do it. Instead to do that, they go through their way about Agua Caliente School, and they close our opportunities in Ruin Homes area. And I'm the one today did the soccer park in Agua Caliente and trying to get involved in Agua Caliente to make sure that we have a family park there, a small little park. They didn't want it to go for that. So Agua Caliente wanted to do their own thing. They threw us off completely, Cathedral City. There was that the only reason I don't want it to go to Agua Caliente Park. The other one was, even though it doesn't mention really good on it, does that I wanted to go to it, does Kids, Cat, Dogs, and Turtles Park. That's kind of like a,
Mario, I have a question for you. Do people in the neighborhood still want to be called dream homes? The whole area? Is that something that people still want to be called?
there was none of the people that I was talked to.
But not for the name of the park, just in general in the neighborhood. Is that something that they still want to be called?
No.
No, because I've heard also that it has some negative things and people, they want to move on from that name. So I don't know if that's something we should start by just with this decision.
Yeah, no, they want to move on without Green Home's name.
A new start, a fresh new start.
First, yes.
I think that's where we should lead, is a fresh new name for a fresh new start with a fresh park.
Take that name off.
Well, it seems like everybody up here has the same sentiment as far as Esperanza Park goes. I think
Yeah,
everybody really likes that name. How many names would we recommend you guys send us? Would you recommend that we send to council as far as what we're looking at?
Or do we just send our one recommendation, strongly worded?
I would suggest sending a few names, 1, 2, 3, 10, but at least a couple.
So Esperanza Park and,
Yeah, you can if you want. Once again, it'll be the council's final decision. I was reminded of that, but the beauty of it is, yeah, I think a ranking would be good from, at least we can promote the ranking here on how you want to do it. And it's a good idea to give the city council, so, you
Some
know,
options.
what you considered as your choices and then what you ranked 1, 2, and 3. or
And
4.
would it be helpful, in your opinion, for members of this commission to be at that city council meeting to speak?
Oh, well, Chair, it's always good for you to be at the meeting if you want to speak on behalf of the commission and/or the vice chair, and/or any of the commissioners in support of it. They're going to get the same, pretty much the same staff report. So they'll see all the names that you were considering. So,
I only have
and I know it sounds a little funny, but I actually really do like the Kids, Cats, Dogs, and Turtles Park. I like the fact that it was named from the name came from the kids that are going to use the park. And I know it sounds like a kid's name, but it's a kid's park, and I'm okay with that.
I thought you would have thought I submitted that, commissioners. I think, being from a marketing and branding standpoint, and that being my background, I think of, opportunities for whether it is renaming the neighborhood or whether we try to call in some economic development in that area or more development for housing. I really think Esperanza has a wonderful ring to it, and I think that that's why we feel strongly about it, because it sounds hopeful and it does seem like a rebranding. That's how cool is it to have an actual huge park attached to a CV Link stop? Like, what a great opportunity for families to exercise together and live in hope. So I think if we had to pick our top 3 for the council, are we all in agreement that our first choice would be Esperanza Park?
yes.
Yes.
What about Dreamer Park? A couple other people mentioned that they like Dreamer.
But if people want to get away from that name, then they're going to be stuck with it if they're, I mean, I've just heard from a council member that they don't want to have that name in that neighborhood anymore. So if we don't want to get stuck with something that down the road that they're not going to be wanting to be called that.
I do like Cathedral City Park, just because I feel like that community has been separated from the rest of Cathedral City for so long, and this kind of puts our name on it, like, this is our park, this is our part of our city, and it's not, even though it's, you know, divided, it's still a big part of our city where we're proud enough to put our name on it.
No, I'm fine with putting that on, on the list.
Cathedral City? Okay.
So am I hearing that as number 2?
I don't have a second or a third. I'm with Esperanza.
Let's let them formulate a little more.
Yeah, it's not very exciting, but out of all the other choices, unless you...
I like that the people that picked Esperanza are the ones that had the.
No, I agree.
Right?
Esperanza.
I don't feel like there's a super clear second or third winner for us. So that's where.
There isn't.
We could say a super distant second that the committee picked was the cathedral. Because if we're going to list more names, we should put a lot of emphasis that we strongly suggested Esperanza. And these other places were just...
Yes. If anything, I would think Cathedral City Community Park.
Well, even that, I mean, that had 42 votes, so that's not coming from nowhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not only our second choice, but that's also the community's second choice.
Yeah, I see that.
I like having the word community in there as a community park.
So second would be Cathedral City Community Park?
Yes.
Let's keep your discussion going, and then
Okay.
you can give us your final tally when you're ready.
I'm done.
I don't want to prompt you. It's a $12 million name.
Well, I-
Can we get that donated? Can we get a sponsor? Amazon Park for 10 million?
I'm good.
I kind of like that this is the first time it seems to be like creative as opposed to the street that it's on or the, you know, like the other parks in the city are just, this is branching out and moving forward. Anybody have a third? Is the third the dogs, cats, turtles?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Or if someone else has a suggestion for another name.
I do not.
I'm not in that neighborhood, so I feel like even if I liked something like Opportunity Park, my opinion doesn't matter nearly as much as the residents that spoke. And so this is their park.
I mean, I guess if there's anything else on the list that I do kind of like, Pathway Park is kind of nice, because I feel like this is, you know, along with the, you know, Hope and Esperanza, you know, this is sort of the pathway, you know, to a better future and a brighter future.
And it is the pathway to CV Link.
It is.
I'm on board with Pathway Park.
Sure, those are fine.
Is that our third?
Will someone formulate a motion and get a second and vote on this, because this is going to be formally,
Okay. Do we have a motion to send our recommendations for the naming of the new park to City Council in ranked choice order? Number 1, Esperanza Park. Number 2, Cathedral City Community Park. And number 3, Pathway Park.
I'll make a motion.
Great.
Second.
Okay. Mover, please select mover. Seconder, please select. Thank you. Please vote.
Okay, sure.
I'm going to turn it back to the vote screen before I announce it. One moment.
Can we send a note to the city council that we strongly suggested Esperanza Park Commission?
I'll add that in there. Well, it's your number one choice, so.
All
And we
right.
can also show up and say it in person. Okay.
Let the record show we have a motion by Commissioner Herrera, a second by Commissioner Martinez, and motion carries all ayes.
That was a hard task. We as your staff liaisons appreciate that. So getting that naming done.
Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on this item?
Apologize, I should have let you know before you voted, we do not have any members present in the meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, we kind of did that one out of order.
It's okay.
We'll let you know when this is on the city council meeting, so you can show up and
Sure.
Wonderful. Progress is I stopped by there, and progress is going. It's exciting. Okay, next item on the agenda, moving along, is the agenda item B, which is Halloween dog costume event at Panorama Dog Park for October of 2024.
Okay. So we're back for our second year. It's Halloween 24. It's the dog costume contest. It's going to be on a Saturday, October 26th, 9 to 10:30. It's going to run basically the same way. It's going to be first, second, and third for the small dogs and for the large dogs. And we're going to add one category this year. That'll be combination costumes, which would be the owner of the dog and the dog. We had about 6 people show up last year with combination costumes. So on that, we'll just have one prize, large dog and small dog. We won't go through 3 prizes for that. So we'll have first, second, and third for the large and small, and then we'll have the combination one prize for each, for small and large dog. Last year, we only spent $20 on this thing, and I'm going to have all of the prizes be donated by local vendors. And last year, we spent $20, and we had 104 people and 42 dogs show up, 35 small dogs, 7 large dogs. I expect about the same this year. The event will be the reopening of the park, which is probably the best part of the whole thing, because the park is closed for a month, so people want to get back in the park. The fact that we have this fun event to get it going again, and it's just a great timing for the event. Also, I'm going to get a sponsor for the refreshments like I did last year, and so they'll have coffee and water and stuff like that, but there will be no charge to the city.
Can we invite E&E Pels? That was such a big hit at all of the Taste and Sounds.
Which one?
E&E Pels, to ask them if they...
Yeah, I did well, with the ask them. Okay, any questions other than that?
My prompt says, can we have a staff report? Do we need a staff report on this item?
That was technically your staff report from Vice Chair Vaishyu.
There you go. Okay, any members of the public that wish to speak on this item?
Chair, I do not have any members of the public present. I did not receive anything through email.
Any comments or questions from the commission before we make a motion for the event?
I want a clarification. You are asking for $100 from your fund as miscellaneous, correct, or
We
no?
are, yes. I'm not sure what we would use it on,
Right.
just in case we need to use something.
Okay,
And of last year, we did ask for 100, and of that, we only used $20.
okay.
Do we have a motion to have $100 set aside for the Pace Small Events budget in support of the Halloween dog costume event at the Panorama Dog Park on October 26th?
I make a motion.
I second.
What do we vote?
Please select mover, Commissioner Martinez. Chair Hyland. Thank you. Please vote. We have a motion by Commissioner Martinez and a second by Chair Hyland. Motion carries, all ayes.
Okay. Thank you. Motion carries. We move on to the Parks and Community Events Commission appointments of 1 and/or 2 members to a subcommittee to work with on the Arts in California Parks Local Parks Grant Program opportunity. Ooh, say that 10 times fast. Okay.
So, Chair, you had another glitch in this one, the staff report, because it's missing a whole page. So it was chock full of information, and we don't know where it went.
The dog ate our homework.
Yeah, the dog, yeah, the turtle ate it. So I'm going to direct off the website, which I gleaned a lot of the information. So Arts in California Parks, it's a local park program. Technically, the mission statement is on here, the vision, and those are reflected in your staff report. Those didn't go away. And then there was also information on the local parks grant and the cycle and all these dates. So this thing has a real fast trigger, which is June 14th is when the applications have to come in, it's June 16th. And what we're going to do is we're looking for staff liaisons, are looking for 2 members, 1 or 2 members to be appointed to a subcommittee to work with Public Arts Commission subcommittee to work with our grant manager to see if we can get a grant in, formulate something to have an art project that can be funded through this program. We've seen a lot of suggestions on murals, especially on the long block wall that's going to be constructed at Dream Homes Park. It's an empty palette. It's a perfect media, you know, for a community art project. There's been suggestions, but that's kind of what the subcommittee would be appointed for, to work with PAC, the Parks Public Arts Commission, to actually formulate what could be submitted for this. So there's more information on the website. That's why I'm directing that. You know, you can look it up afterwards, but right now we're asking for the dubious task of someone or a couple of you to dive in.
I would love to do that. And just to clarify, it does need to be commissioners. It's not like we're appointing members of the community, correct?
We would like commissioners to be involved because we have a tight trigger and we can kind of control that.
Just wanted to make sure we weren't excluding members of the public. I'm definitely interested in this, especially like he said about getting a mural at the beautiful new park, as well as future art at trailheads for future trailheads once we get those approved. I think that would be fantastic. Is anybody else interested in this? If there's only one, does that mean someone else is voluntold?
No, the one's fine. And obviously, don't feel bad. People are limited on time. A lot of the commissioners are stretched doing other things. So
Absolutely.
we want someone to willfully volunteer to work with the Parks or the Public Arts Commission and our grant manager on this.
Okay.
So if you can get an affirmation on your appointment to that subcommittee from the rest of the commission, that'd be great.
Do I have an affirmation on my self-appointment to the subcommittee?
Someone move in second.
Second. I motion
Just
that Aaron, Chair Highland is on the subcommittee.
I second.
Okay, so we'll do a formal vote then. Here we go.
thanks, y'all.
Okay. Vice Chair Baishu, if you please move.
Hold on.
Do we need to ask for public comment or anything on this motion?
Yes.
Yep, that's what I was going to do. But
Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on this item?
Chair, we do not have any members of the public present.
Okay.
Okay, if we can please vote. Let me switch the screen for the public. Apologize for the delay in our, okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair Baishu and a second by Commissioner Martinez, and motion carries all ayes.
Thank you. I look forward to reporting back after our next meeting. Okay, next, moving on 5, staff comments. Do we have any comments from staff?
Only thing I have is apologizing for the new system. We're all dealing with the quirks, not only you, but the rest of the commissions. PAC had the same challenges, and same with City Council and the Planning Commission. So we're not the only ones, but we're working through it right now. So I apologize. Any comments from other staff liaisons?
You guys did great. We did not have to refresh any computers, so good job and thank you.
Deanna?
Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 6, Commissioners' Report. Okay, I will call on each commissioner to give you a report and update on subcommittees that you are a part of and what you've been working on. We will start over here with Commissioner Martinez.
It's been a quiet month, but I have spoken with Councilmember Lamb, and she expressed a willingness to reach out to us with Land Trust. So I'm going to email the contacts I've made there and try to set up a meeting so they could possibly do something in the city.
Okay. Vice Chair Beshu?
Last meeting, we talked about the popcorn and water for the kids for the summer movies, and that's been approved by the council. So we're moving on, and at the next meeting, I'll have the flyer for you guys.
Wonderful.
Always email whether it's Christina or myself, and we can send it to everybody.
Okay, sure, sure.
Christina, I'd like to have an item added to the agenda next month, and that would be, you'll take, okay. Antonio Beshu is the,
Yeah.
we're going to co-tag team on it, but we will be sending an agenda item for what we've been working on to use the rest of our budget. Other with that, for next agenda, I want to thank the City of Cathedral City for hosting Leadership Coachella Valley for the first time. It's going to be about our next animal event.
Yeah, it's going to be a mobile spay and neuter bus from Riverside County.
We will get you all the details.
One second.
And we will send a staff report in.
See, the next meeting would be June 4th, so I would like the staff reports here a week from today.
We will have it in by next Monday.
Thank you. Yes. So I want to thank the City of Cathedral City for hosting Leadership Coachella Valley for the first time in its 24 years history. It was hosted here in City Hall. It went absolutely fabulously. 99% of students had not been to our fabulous facility prior to. That was wonderful. And Ryan Hunt, who is in the class this year, did a wonderful job giving a tour of the amphitheater downtown. We all had happy hour at Luchador after, and had Desert Thai supply food to all 50 people. So it was a win-win for Cathedral City and their businesses. We look forward to doing that again. And then Mayor Pro Tem Nancy spoke at our Government Day for Leadership Coachella Valley. So it's been a wonderful program, and we're seeing the partnership and getting more involved with that. Most cities send someone through on scholarship every year, so it's wonderful to see Cathedral City participating in that year-long program. Also, I've been volunteering at both Agua Caliente and Cathedral City Elementary with Read With Me, and working on recruiting some volunteers for them, and really getting to know a lot of our youngest constituents in our city, which has been so much fun. Cathedral City has 5 elementary schools, and we would love to have this program at all 5. So if you're interested in volunteering, please let me know. The requirement is 1 hour a week, and you get to work on literacy one-on-one with kids at these schools. And a lot of them share with us that it is the only one-on-one time they get in their life. They have multiple siblings at home. They have parents that work really hard in the evenings, or they're taking care of family responsibilities. So one thing Read With Me did offer is we will be able to give out free books to kids for the free summer movie series. So each kid that come, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it every day of the 10, but we will be able to give out free books and encourage literacy for the children that do come to the books. So
That's really cool.
that's going to be a wonderful partnership. So yes, we're getting them off screens, but then they can go home and read a book after the movie. But it'll be entirely free. And our next Trail Commission meeting is next week. Yes. And then we will have updates after we move that slow horse along. Okay. Next up, Commissioner Herrera.
This last month, we had our 22K Invisible Wounds event over at Dennis Keats Soccer Park. As Jeff Cole had said, we had about 100 people come out for the event. We had 50 individuals that actually participated in the walking. The majority of the people that came out did about 3 to 5 laps, or 3 to 5 kilometers. We actually had 2 people come out and run the entire event. And that was kind of rough. I mean, I can imagine. And we had about 5 people in total complete it. So I know my legs were wiped out and I was limping for a couple days afterwards. But it was good, and I really enjoyed it, and I was glad to see the community involvement and, the people that showed up. And I'd like to, thank the city for their support, the commission. It was just really greatly appreciated. I was also at the Walk for Water event. That was really nice. I think I've been seeing this slowly grow year after year since COVID. And I don't know what it was like before COVID, but I know what it was last year and I know what it was this year, and it's definitely growing every year. I actually had the opportunity to speak with Kristen Lehigh, who's the branch manager for the local public library. They were the ones responsible for coming out and reading at the movie event that we had last year. So I shared with her what we had planning coming up again for this year, and they're on board. So they're excited to come back out and participate again. And that's what I got.
Thank you. And last but definitely not least, Commissioner Jimenez.
Yeah, I just get involved in the parks. So I actually don't have enough time because I have my surgery going and everything was successful, so.
Please keep us posted and let us know how you're doing and if there's anything we can do.
Thank you.
We appreciate all you've done for us so far. Anything else from the commission? Okay. Meeting is adjourned.
So you can have some books. I have some.